2023 has been a year of highs and lows. The year saw a decline in the severity of the COVID-19 pandemic while India reached the moon and shot for the sun, but it also saw the start of the Israel-Hamas war. India hosted the G20 summit, cementing its position on the world stage, while BJP cemented its power in the Hindi heartland by sweeping assembly polls in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. Several severe earthquakes across the globe claimed tens of thousands of lives, and drastic climate change caused floods, heat waves, and Cyclone Freddy, the longest-lasting recorded tropical cyclone in history. The year also witnessed a banking crisis, resulting in the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic Bank, the third and second largest banking collapses in U.S. history, respectively.
China reopens its borders to international visitors, marking the end of travel restrictions that began in March 2020. Parts of Joshimath town sink, highlighting risks of overdevelopment in hilly areas. Aruna Miller became first South Asian woman elected lieutenant governor in the United States. Yeti Airlines Flight 691 crashed during final approach into Pokhara, Nepal, killing all 72 people on board. The Supreme Court of India upheld the legality of the government's decision to demonetize all last 500 and 1,000 banknotes in 2016. Several Indian wrestlers, most notably Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Fogart, and Sakshi Malik, protested at Jantar Mantar against Wrestling Federation of India Chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is accused of sexual harassment. Hindenburg Group publishes a report that accuses the Adani Group of brazen stock manipulation and accounting fraud. Novak Djokovic wins his 22nd Grand Slam at the Australian Open to equal Rafael Nadal's record. US announces it is tracking alleged Chinese spy balloons over the Americas, with one drifting from Yukon to South Carolina before being shot down the next day, and a second hovering over Colombia and Brazil. This event is followed by subsequent detections and shootdowns of high-altitude objects elsewhere. Cyclone Freddy forms in the Indian Ocean. It would become the longest-lasting tropical cyclone in history and cause over 1,400 deaths and countless injuries and property damage across southeastern Africa. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit southern and central Turkey and northern and western Syria, followed by a 7.7 magnitude aftershock on the same day, causing widespread damage and more than 59,000 fatalities and 121,000 injured. In a major setback to the ruling Aam Aadmi Party, the Enforcement Directorate arrested senior party leader Manish Sisodia on money laundering charges in connection with its probe into the alleged Delhi liquor policy scam. Russia suspends its participation in New START, a nuclear arms reduction treaty with the US.
China's National People's Congress unanimously re-elects Xi Jinping as President of the People's Republic of China for an unprecedented third term. Silicon Valley Bank, the 16th largest bank in the U.S., fails, creating then the largest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis. Election results declared for Legislative Assembly elections in 3 states. BJP retains Tripura and Nagaland. NPP coalition wins in Meghalaya. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as a Lok Sabha MP following his conviction in the criminal defamation case over his Modi surname remark. Natu Natu from RRR and Netflix's The Elephant Whisperer brought Indian laurels at the 2023 Academy Awards. India overtook China as the world's most populous nation, according to UN data. India's population surpassed 1.428 billion, slightly higher than China's 1.425 billion people, according to the UN's World Population Dashboard. Jailed gangster Atik Ahmed and his brother Ashraf were shot dead at point-blank range by 2 assailants posing as TV reporters while they were being escorted to a hospital in Prayagraj for a mandatory medical examination under heavy security cover. Finland becomes the 31st member of NATO, doubling the alliance's border with Russia. Nuclear power in Germany ends after 50 years, with the closure of the final power plants. Radical Khalistan separatist Amritpal Singh is arrested. SpaceX's Starship rocket, the largest and most powerful rocket ever built, launches for the first time in a test flight from Texas. It explodes 4 minutes after launch. San Francisco-based First Republic Bank fails, surpassing the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, becoming the second largest in U.S. history. The WHO ends its declaration of COVID-19 being a global health emergency. The coronation of Charles III and Camilla as King and Queen of the United Kingdom is held in Westminster Abbey, London. Cyclone Mocha forms in the Indian Ocean, killing over 400 people and injuring over 700 as it strikes Myanmar and Bangladesh. Congress gets shot in the arm after sweeping Karnataka assembly polls, winning 135 out of 224 seats. Ethnic violence between tribal groups erupts in Manipur. State government issues shoot-at-sight orders as a last resort to control the situation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the new parliament building and installs the sacred Sengal in the Lok Sabha chamber. Reserve Bank of India announces that it will withdraw all Rs 2000 notes in circulation by September 2023. Train number 1284. 1 Coromandel Express collides with a freight train in Odisha's Balasore district. Over 280 people were killed after 20 coaches got derailed. Scientists report the creation of the first synthetic human embryo from stem cells without the need for sperm or egg cells. All 5 crew members of Titan, a deep-sea submersible exploring the wreck of the Titanic, are killed following a catastrophic implosion of the vessel. The Wagner Group, led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, began an armed conflict with the Russian military. The rebellion came to an end soon, and Prigozhin died in a plane crash a couple of months later. The films Barbie and Oppenheimer opened while being paired with a major internet and cultural event, Barbenheimer. President Mohamed Bazoum of Niger is toppled in a coup d'etat. Uttar Pradesh is struck by a severe heat wave, leading to at least 121 deaths in 2 cities. Heavy rain and flash floods kill at least 41 people in Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. Several opposition parties band together to form India Alliance to fight against the NDA alliance in the upcoming 2024 general elections. A video of 2 women being paraded naked and subjected to blatant acts of sexual assault by a group of tribal men in Manipur goes viral, triggering outrage across the country. Riots break out across New District in Haryana. Twitter CEO Elon Musk changes the app's official name to X. Chandrayaan-3 launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. India's Chandrayaan-3 becomes the first spacecraft to land near the south pole of the moon, carrying a lunar lander named Vikram and a lunar rover named Pragyan. 17,000 acres of land are burned, and at least 100 people are killed when a series of wildfires break out on the island of Maui in Hawaii. Rahul Gandhi's membership in the Lok Sabha is reinstated following the Supreme Court of India accepting his plea and staying conviction. Narendra Modi's government wins a no-trust motion, tabled by the India Alliance. Former Pakistan PM Imran Khan was arrested in a corruption case and disqualified from politics for 5 years. Donald Trump was arrested and released in the Georgia election fraud case. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, successfully launches Aditya-L-1, India's first solar observation mission. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake strikes western Morocco, killing at least 2,960 people and damaging historic buildings. India hosted the G20 summit, which concluded with the adoption of a G20 leaders declaration without any opposition. The African Union is announced as the 21st permanent member of the G20. Asian Games started on September 23rd, where India won over 100 medals, including 28 gold and 38 silver. This was the first time that India won over 100 medals. Lok Sabha passed the historic Women's Reservation Bill, which sets aside 1/3 of seats in Lok Sabha and state assemblies for women. Canadian PM Justin Trudeau accuses India of having a hand in the murder of pro-Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Hamas launches an incursion into southern Israel from the Gaza Strip, prompting a military response from the Israel Defense Forces. The flash flood, triggered by a cloudburst in the Tista River in Sikkim in the early hours of October 4th, caused widespread destruction in the state, affecting around 88,000 individuals. This flood killed over 70 people, including Army personnel. After 7 years, NASA's first asteroid sample returned to Earth on October 4th. The Supreme Court unanimously declined to recognize same-sex marriages and adoption rights, but said that transgender persons in heterosexual relationships have the right to marry under existing law. Matthew Perry, who played the sarcastic Chandler Bing in Friends, dies of an overdose. World's first AI Safety Summit takes place in the UK. 28 countries signed a World First Agreement on how to manage the riskiest forms of artificial intelligence. 41 construction workers were left trapped in the Silk Yara Barkot tunnel after a part of it collapsed on Diwali, November 12th. They were rescued after 17 days. India loses the World Cup to Australia. After 10 consecutive wins, India lost the World Cup trophy by just a few inches. The Beatles released Now and Then, the band's last ever song. U.S. surgeons at NYU Langone Health announced the world's first whole eye transplant. Chinese President Xi Jinping visited the United States for the first time since 2017 to hold a key summit with U.S. President Joe Biden. At the COP28 climate summit in Dubai, a consensus is reached for countries to transition away from fossil fuels, the first such agreement in the conference's 30-year history. Assembly poll results of 4 states announced. BJP sweeps Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. Congress manages to save face by winning Telangana. ZPM ousts MNF in Mizoram. The BJP-led National Democratic Alliance is now in power in 17 states and union territories. A 5-judge Constitution bench of the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the validity of the Union government's 2019 decision to abrogate Article 370 of the Constitution on December 11th. On the 22nd anniversary of the Parliament attacks, in a major security breach, 2 men jumped into the Lok Sabha chamber from the visitors' gallery on December 13th, raised slogans, and opened canisters that emitted yellow smoke, triggering panic among those present and raising questions of what if. After the security breach, opposition parties demanded a debate on the matter. A total of 146 MPs were suspended over the next few days. Parliament passed 3 new criminal code laws that completely overhaul India's policing system. As the year 2023 comes to a close, your journey through its 12 months has been captured in this concise 12-minute video. Reflect on the memories, challenges, and triumphs that defined the past year. If you enjoyed this retrospective journey, don't forget to subscribe for more content. Hit the like button to show your appreciation and share this video with others.